do it one more time.
So if the Eagles lose,
everyone's going to be so upset.
If the Eagles lose, you're rooting for the Vikings?
No, I hate the Vikings.
Why?
Because they fucking their fans suck.
Oh my God,
their team sucks.
That's the pot calling the kettle black.
You're black. See, yeah. The Vikings just like they're like, your fans are bad. Your fans are bad. Like they
so
say
you're
that about
blaming
every
the fans because of the fans.
Yeah, they say every other team's
Eagles
fans are bad. Every other team fans are bad.
Eagles fans are bad.
Yeah,
they toss full beer cans at people.
that's what they get.
For
Don't
what?
fucking touch this. Oh,
for attending a game?
No, they were messing with the Rocky statue.
What are you talking about?
At that game?
Welcome back to another episode of Ill Ego Culture Brands Red Tape Talk. I'm your host, John Ostos, a.k.a. Ill Ego CEO. And as per usual, I'm here with my two counterparts, Dion Two Cup Larry and Cody Big Meat Mauk. And why am I still wearing these headphones?
Yeah.
What's up, fellas? Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Another year started, and we get to do it all over again.
Yeah.
Only this time we got some traction. We got a little lead in.
Yep.
So it could be a banging ass year for us, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We had big plans to go out and celebrate the New Year and just kind of fell apart.
And none of us did.
It was so lame too because I
Dion, you hang out with us old motherfuckers, and your life's gonna end up real boring in your 20s.
Where's Clay when I need him? You know, like Clay
you
would have been
would've
like,
had a
"Oh, bar
blast."
down is lit, dude." Like, no, see, it was like
Yeah, but then he would have found somebody and then just dipped an hour later.
not on me though.
Yeah, he would have rolled out with a couple chicks and
Yeah.
let Dion and his wife.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Dion, let's go." I'd be like, "I can't, dude. I gotta."
I'm married now, bro. Remember? Hell yeah. So what happened? You guys ended up, I didn't go out because my daughter's sick with pneumonia, and last minute I just couldn't get no one to watch her while she was sick. So we stayed home, literally did nothing. I think we went to bed like right after midnight too. We were just up still because we were watching some shows or some shit. But you guys were still supposed to go out, and you ended up not, or ended up not staying out.
Yeah. So, what happened was Cody got dinner. I ended up getting dinner like right before that with my sibling and his wife. And then we went back, played some cards. We're preparing to go to Bar Down. And then about 8:30 came.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's roll. Let's go to Bar Down. They didn't want to go. Nicole didn't even want to go. And I texted Cody. I said, heading to Bar Down now. We took forever to find a parking spot. It's packed. The ramp was packed.
Yep.
Like, it was awful. And get in, shoulder to shoulder packed. I was like, Cody, I don't think we're going to be able to stay here. Like,
so at that point, I was already at home.
You didn't even bother to go.
I went. I went there. I was there before.
when I said I'm going to go.
I was there before. I was already there. But I walked in, and it was shoulder to shoulder. I was like,
it was bad.
see you later.
Damn.
There was like nowhere to even stand. I went to the bathroom. People are like standing in the walkways and shit. I like just wanted to run through them. I was like, I'm not drunk enough for this. So
Yeah. You have to be there already before that starts. Otherwise, forget it.
Yeah. It was, and there was a table that opened up for like a second. And then these people were like, we've actually been waiting for an hour. So, like, can we just have this? Because we've been waiting. Like, they told us we could have it next. I said, these people are here too. So, I don't know. Go ahead. And we just dipped out. I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So,
So my fantasy, I was in the toilet bowl championship.
Okay. Good. First year.
Guess how many points I scored?
65.
177.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
What was your record?
I think final I was like 7-8 or 8-8.
Yeah.
But
That's not
and then
bad.
the championship game, the winner scored 155. But I scored the most points out of the entire fantasy.
But you weren't even in the playoffs, though. So it's like
I know. But the problem, what happened was, especially with Dak getting hurt, that screwed me.
Yeah.
Because with Dak getting hurt, CeeDee Lamb was basically sidelined.
Yeah.
And then Chris Godwin from the Buccaneers, when he got hurt, that screwed me.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, it was a lot of inconsistency with my team. If they were consistent, I would have won for sure, but they were just not consistent.
That's how this year's been. I feel like it's just off and on. I won $110 on the bright side, so that's good.
Not bad.
Yeah, but it was fun. I mean, I had a good time. I kind of learned like as I was going, because this is my first time doing it. Learned as you go. One thing that I've definitely learned was you have to check it right before kickoff.
Yep.
Because there was one time when I forgot to check it and one of my guys was hurt. And I ended up losing by a couple points.
Yeah, if they're questionable,
had I won that game, I would have been in the playoffs.
They're making, and I just had to bring this up now because we're talking about it, but Saquon Barkley is 100 yards away from breaking the all-time rushing record for...
Which is Jim Brown?
No, it's... I can't even remember. I keep getting confused with the college record and the NFL record, but I want to say it's like Eric Dickerson or something that.
Sure. Yep.
But somebody's got the record, and Saquon only needs 100 yards against the Giants this week.
In a single season.
Yeah. So it's 2,110 yards or something like that is what he needs to get to. He's at 2,010. He only needs 100 yards. And I don't know if it's him or if it's the Eagles saying it, but he's sitting out this next game instead of hitting the record.
Really?
Yeah. But it's got to be in regular season, too. So this is the last week to do it. Like,
he's sitting out because he's preserving himself.
That's what they're saying. Yeah. And I'm guessing he made the call. I would assume they let him make the call.
I saw an article where he said something about he's not worried about records and stats. He's, he wants to be able to help his team, win or something.
Fuck all that.
Yeah, nah, for real.
All the Eagles fans are going to say it. They want him to go win this record. Yeah. Like, this doesn't line up like this ever. Like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
They're not dominating like they're used to either,
exactly.
So that's why they don't want to risk it, I guess.
I wouldn't. And he played last week, and they dominated. Like, they didn't need to play him that much. Yeah. He did not need to play. And he ran like 30-some times. Like, that's... We're not trying to preserve him then, are we? But now we're going to say...
Well, maybe that was his game where he's like, I'm going to get the record here, and then I'll sit out.
The Cowboys should have let him. They got beat by 55 points. But either way, I would say play him half the game. He can get 100 yards.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to do it. Like, it doesn't only cement you in the record books, but it cements your offensive line, your quarterback generally. Like, your whole team goes down in that record because it is a team game, not an individual sport. But, hey, if you want to try and lose...
I think that happened to Adrian Peterson one year, too. Like, he was on track to break a record, and he said that he just wanted to put the team first.
That's just and I get it. It's like, say you just got hurt last week and you're like, I could play this week, but I'd rather nurse this injury and like come back all the way the week after. But hey, like this is what you do. You run the ball 30 times a game every game and you get 150 yards. That's guaranteed. Fucking go do it one more time.
So if the Eagles lose,
everyone's gonna be so upset.
If the Eagles lose, you're rooting for the Vikings?
No, I hate the Vikings.
Why?
Because they their fans suck.
Oh my God.
Their team sucks.
That's the pot calling the kettle black.
You're black. See? Yeah. The Vikings just like, they're like, your fans are bad. Your fans are bad. Like they
so
say
you're
that about
blaming the fans because of the fans.
Yeah, they say every other team's fans are bad. Every other team fans are bad.
Eagles fans are bad.
Yeah.
They toss full beer cans at people.
That's what they get.
For
Don't
what?
fucking touch this. Oh,
for attending the game?
No, they were messing with the Rocky statue.
What are you talking about?
At that game? The one in Minneapolis or the one in Philadelphia?
Philly.
They were messing with the statue.
No, this is like people walking into the stadium and
don't walk into our stadium then.
Really?
Stay home.
And then you come to our stadium and steal all the seats.
Good. That stadium sucks anyways.
You guys are trash.
I'm just saying, all fans are terrible. Especially when it comes to football, because you're watching.
That is true, because when we went to, I went to, it was, I think they were the Redskins back then. I can't remember. But we went to one of those games, and the game was over. Vikings won. We were walking through the parking lot, and dude, one of their fans was one of the guys I was with. He was wearing an orange hunting hat, and this guy, you're gonna probably have to bleep this, but this guy goes, "Nice hat."
Oh, that's what I'm saying, though. You get a bunch of people drinking beer and they're rooting for one thing over another. I mean, that's what's bound to happen. But with that being said, I'm not really too.
But I just can't imagine. Like, it's hard for me to get that hostile over somebody else because they're rooting for another football team.
I don't get why people can be such big fans of something that has nothing to do with them, to be honest with you. Like, I really do like the Eagles.
I don't take it that serious.
But I have no, like...
And people love to hate on the Cowboys so hard, bro, and they're always on my feed.
Yeah, like,
it's pretty easy.
I'm like, your life must suck, homie.
It's just funny. It's funny in the sense of, like, making fun of the Cowboys to you.
Yeah, but
us.
that's just banter. But I'm talking about, like, actual physical altercation.
Yeah, you don't, like, get angry about it. Like, when somebody's like, oh, the Eagles suck, I'm not like, fuck you.
Yeah. You don't go like,
what's up?
Throw fisticuffs because.
Hold on one second. Pause for a second, guys. Something's not right. Let me try this one more time. Good to go.
Are we picking up where we left off?
Yeah, just pick up where you left off.
Okay.
But yeah, the Eagles. I don't think they're gonna win the Super Bowl, and if they do, good on them. I hope they.
You got to root for the Vikings then.
I would not.
That's messed up.
I would root for the Buccaneers over them, and they'd probably be the ones that end up beating us if we lose. I definitely would go for the Lions. I hope the Lions beat the Vikings.
Bucs actually look pretty good.
You would root for the Bucs over the Vikings, you said?
Yeah.
Really?
I like the Buccaneers. I like Baker Mayfield. His attitude is like priceless. I do like Cody Mauch a lot too. His attitude is priceless too. Like you don't run into a squad that just like meshes together like the way they seem to.
Did you see that picture of it had a picture of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield? They were both on the Panthers
that was crazy
at the same time.
Yeah.
And now they're both like just killing it in the game.
And that's the other thing about the Vikings that I really don't like. And it is a big part of the fans. Like the fans will treat you like you're a king for 1 second, and then they'll throw you away. Just like
who?
Dobson. They're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna do the same thing with Darnold. They did the same thing with Kirk Cousins. Like,
but Kirk pulled some shady stuff, dude.
That's just an excuse.
That's an excuse.
He was doing shady stuff.
I would understand it if the Cowboys did that to Dak Prescott. Like, I would get that because Dak Prescott has done well, but like this year did bad, got hurt. Like, you can't be so inconsistent. But like Kirk Cousins was a fine quarterback. He was not bad. And they were like, oh, you're gone. You know, we don't care about you.
Where's he at now?
He's at the Falcons. And
they're about ready to boot him too.
They're gonna. I mean, he's tore his Achilles. He's not young.
He lied about it.
About him being healthy? Or yeah. What do you expect?
Our boy Wentz might get some game time this next game.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. With who?
With the Chiefs.
Oh, really?
Because they're going to sit Mahomes out. Yeah.
His ankle's still destroyed. I think that's going to be like the downfall of his career is that his...
Not if it's true what you guys say and the refs got their back, bro.
They do. But I think they're going to win the Super Bowl or at least go to it. But he...
You think his mobility's gone?
No. He's athletic. He's a beast, but I think like over time, he continues to hurt his ankles. I think this is the second year in a row where...
What are you talking about?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Wentz.
No,
it's because he runs. It's because he runs on his tippy toes that his ankles are always getting
so
jacked
zesty.
up. Bro.
Yeah, but it's like he's quick too. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what
his ankles are going to give out.
I think that'll be like one of his downfalls for sure in the future. I don't think it's going to give out. I think he's going to win at least.
That's not what I mean.
3 more Super Bowls.
But when you're a quarterback and constantly getting tackled like that,
yeah.
I mean,
and you can't be mobile anymore. Once you start being less mobile, you start being less.
But I mean, Brady wasn't that mobile, and he made it work.
Well, that's a different guy. It's a whole different guy, different team.
GOAT?
He's good, very good. He made a lot of people that weren't good really good.
Yeah,
but so has Patrick Mahomes. So
yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just shocked that the Vikings are doing as well as they did because I did not expect it at all.
If they beat the Lions right here, I would be very impressed.
Yeah, the Lions, there's another fucking team. They're fucking doing good this year, man.
That's what I'm saying. I would root for them over the Vikings, though, every day.
Yeah, I vote for the Vikings, though. Like that's who I want to see win when I'm not rooting for my team, too. Yeah. Other than KC.
I was going to say.
Yeah. I like the Vikings. I mean, like, if they play KC, then I choose KC over them.
Okay.
But I like them as well. Yeah. I just like football, bro. I can't help it. I can't help it that I play by my own rules. I come from an era where we wore the jersey of any team if we liked the players because we were down with football and we liked the sport and we were fans of like individual players. So I always had my own team, but it wasn't like fuck every other team, bro. I love football.
Did you sport the Raiders jersey at all?
No, that team I did hate. But I didn't hate them for football. I hated them because my whole family
Everybody loved
them. Like, you couldn't go into one of my family members' houses in the 90s, bro, and it wasn't black and silver everywhere. And Raiders, everything memorabilia. I mean, they had Raiders cups and, dishware and all. I mean, it was just annoying to the point where I was like, I'm not going to be a Raiders fan. Like, the hell with these people. I'm going to find my own team because it was disgusting. I couldn't. Everyone was bandwagoning. Win or lose, didn't matter. Like, everyone coincidentally was a Raiders fan, and it just blew my mind.
Do you
That's
think
crazy.
Chase asked me this question one time? Do you think that there's more New York hats or LA hats like ever sold? Like, so Dodgers hats or what is it? The
LA.
Mets? You think it's LA? That's what I thought too,
Yeah,
but
I
I
would-
don't.
But I'm biased. I'm probably just saying out of bias. What do you think?
I would say LA as well. I feel like that's like that covers like California to Texas rather than just like the New York area, I guess. But I'm not sure. It's tough.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, what hat has sold more, LA or New York?
Okay, I found this on the web for what has sold more, law or New York.
That's a
Check
tough
it
one.
out.
They don't know.
Because they're so popular. They're like fashion statements, not just sports teams.
Right.
So it's like, but also a lot of people like them for the sport. But now the
People
Dodgers.
do that with New York too, man.
Yeah.
People,
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
Jay-Z made the New York cap for hella famous. No, but like because he always wore that New York, that was like his signature look,
Yankees.
and everyone started rocking New York hats, bro.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, and their logo's dope, just like LA's logo is dope. So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
New York might. I mean, they got way more people than LA.
I think
don't
so. Yeah.
They? Yeah, I don't know.
It's a tough call. Either
It's
way. Fantasy football, we should start a league next time.
Like just us?
Well, we'd have to have more people, but we could figure it
I'll
out.
be down.
Chase said
I've
he
never
wants
done
to
it,
do
but
it.
I
He's
would
never
do it.
done it either.
Yeah, it was. It's interesting. Like I didn't know like half the people on my roster until I started playing with them, and
Yeah.
but it actually got me to watch more than just the Vikings.
I think that's I mean, I don't watch much football at all anymore these days, but college football is honestly getting to be better than
Yeah, it's
NFL
getting
football. It's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to the Bison. Hopefully they can come home with the dub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
that would be. It would be. It's I don't. They've had some good games. I mean, some actually competitive games, which is nice. That's what you like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. While
That's
we're on
good.
the topic of football, before we stray away, we never talked about the Heisman winner.
Oh yeah,
Who's getting
Oh, yeah.
destroyed
Travis Hunter.
right now on the internet?
Yeah.
What do you guys
Travis.
think about that, dude?
I don't know, man. That doesn't look good to me.
No, his chick she's one of them, huh? It seems like.
I mean-
That's the way the internet's painting her, bro, and they got all the evidence to back it up. They're posting pictures and videos
of her
bro.
with other dudes. That's what I'm confused.
her with
Like,
other
if that's
dudes
her.
after the stories
Yeah.
too of her happily saying, "Oh yeah, he would take me to the clubs and wait outside the clubs for hours while I was partying because he doesn't drink and do all." So like you're talking about a dude that's just super focused, level-headed, knows what he wants out of life. He's focused on that target.
That's not good.
And then he's got a girl who identifies that in him and has
Yeah.
taken full advantage of
Yeah,
that from what it
that's
looks
not
like.
good.
So I don't know if they make it all the way, man, because this he's paid right now and he's only going to get more popular. And
You better strap
she
up.
seems like and everyone's warning him, bro. Like
Yeah.
tons of other NFL players are coming around just being like, dude, like it's not a good look. This chick it's obvious who this chick is. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it's true or whatnot, but I've seen tons of video evidence and dudes are selling shirts now of her twerking and, you know, their hands on her ass and shit from video shoots. And one dude posted a video of her at his place, like they just hooked up and like smashed.
She's
and all
like
that stuff.
cooking and shit.
She's like
and
cooking in
cleaning.
his kitchen
Yeah.
in her like booty shorts and stuff too. Like it's
If
just not
that's
a good look.
her, then that's
Right.
and they're saying that was 3 years ago, and they've been together for 5 years.
And all
so that
him,
makes no
all him
sense.
and her have done is shut off their social media and kind
Yeah.
of go dark, you know. So it's like I don't know. It's hard to say.
If that is her in the videos, you have to say, hey man, like as obviously you have to understand we have to have a prenup. Like that's just what it is. I'm
Oh,
gonna
for
be a
sure.
mega
Oh, yeah.
superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am gonna be Deion Sanders times 2.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have to understand you're signing a prenup and that's what it's gonna be, or we can't be together.
Yeah.
And that's
Hopefully
that.
he's that smart. to do
Hopefully he doesn't get manipulated into her saying like, oh, that's unfair for me, blah blah blah. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
cares
I
about
worked for this.
Yeah.
Who cares about you?
Yeah.
No, he
I mean,
worked.
for real though, what did she do while he was working hard? She was asking him to drive her to
Partying.
clubs and bars and wait for him.
That's
He
wait
was
for her,
living
like-
a college lifestyle.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
grinding.
yeah.
So like he
and
goes
it paid
to,
off because he got. I mean, he's about to.
But
get
now
drafted.
look at the second it pays off. There she is to drag him down already.
Yeah.
And just by default of association, it's not like she's doing anything particular to purposely drag him down. But the content that's coming out about him right now is not a good look for him and could ruin his career.
See, and that's how I could see him getting manipulated, is because she's going to say, "Oh, you believe them, don't you?" I would say, "No, it's just."
You
I
could
gotta
tell she already
protect
has that
myself.
control over him.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't listen to music, but she showed me Lil Wayne, and that's her favorite rapper, and now I like Lil Wayne. I think he's dope.
Lil Wayne signed him to be his
and then he signed to
representation.
Lil Wayne's sports whatever you call it. So like
agency, basically.
That's weird. That her influence over him is pretty strong.
He was going to the games right when Deion Sanders became coach, in all fairness. So like when all those rappers started coming to the games and stuff, that was because of Deion Sanders. And I think Deion Sanders might have put Lil Wayne on to Travis Hunter, and then Travis Hunter was like, "Oh, this guy likes me, blah blah blah. Money's here." And they'll make good choices.
Care that his girlfriend loves him.
I don't think it has anything to do with his girlfriend, in all honesty, for that one.
No, I know. I just mean the fact that.
But she's got it.
Yeah.
So I hope he doesn't let that happen. I hope she's smart enough to be with him and love him. But if not, then
it already doesn't look good, though.
Then it's not going to be good for her, I guess.
Straight up.
I mean,
Either
he
way,
seems
he's going to be
level-headed,
rich.
though. I mean, he does seem level-headed. He doesn't seem like he would be like the Tyreek Hill kind of guy.
Hopefully not.
Have 10
Tyreek
kids? 11 kids?
He's clowning
got a lot of
himself
kids.
hard
11
right now,
kids?
man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's nonsense.
I think whatever happens, he's going to make his family very wealthy. And as long as he does that, he's succeeded. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, as long as he doesn't waste it all, that's all that matters, which he already has a lot more money than I. So I guess he's got it going on, you know?
Yeah.
Straight up. Well,
let's get dark.
Let's jump into our one of our new segments of What in the World, and let's talk about some of the crazy stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Let's start with we'll just go real big right out the gate in case we run out of time here.
Yeah.
So let's start with the big one right now that's going on in regards to the stuff that's happening with the terrorist stuff. So we'll start with this topic. So recent events in New Orleans and Las Vegas have raised significant concerns about public safety and potential terrorist activities. Here are some of the key points summarizing what we know so far. The New Orleans truck attack. In an incident overview, on January 1st, 2025, during New Year's celebrations, Shamsud Din Bahar Jabbar, a 42-year-old U.S. Army veteran, drove a rented pickup truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, resulting in 15 deaths and injuring at least 35 people. The details of the perpetrator are, his name is Jabbar. He was wearing body armor and armed with an assault rifle. After crashing the truck, he engaged in a shootout with the police and was killed at the scene. An ISIS flag was found on the truck, leading authorities to treat the incident as an act of terrorism. Eyewitnesses noticed that the anti-vehicle barriers typically in place during large events were absent due to maintenance ahead of the Sugar Bowl, allowing Jabbar to access the crowded area more easily. That's really suspect. So they're saying they have these steel barriers that come up to block off the street so cars can't go in and create acts of terror like this. Coincidentally, those are off, and he knew to go and do it at that time.
They were saying that there were cop cars in the way, though, right?
He just barged through. There was one cop car. He just barged right around him.
No, what happened was he went on the sidewalk, but what people were saying was like, don't you think that you would set up barriers on the sidewalk during a large event like that?
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
So let's tie them together real quick, and then we'll talk more. So then we also have the Las Vegas Tesla Cybertruck explosion. On the same day, a Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas, injuring 7 people and killing the driver, identified as 37-year-old Army veteran Matthew Livelsberger. The vehicle was packed with fireworks and gas canisters, suggesting a deliberate attack. Livelsberger was on leave from his station in Germany with the 10th Special Forces Group. His family described him as a patriotic individual and a Trump supporter, expressing shock over his involvement in the incident. Authorities are investigating potential links between the New Orleans and Las Vegas incidents, noting similarities such as both perpetrators being Army veterans and renting vehicles through the Turo platform, as well as both serving at Fort Bragg. I don't know if it was together or they just both coincidentally had served there. However, there's no definitive connection that has yet been established. Some theories and public speculation. His family finds his involvement uncharacteristic, with some expressing doubts about the official narrative, though no concrete evidence has been presented to support alternative theories. And then various conspiracy theories have emerged online speculating about coordinated attacks or deeper connections between the incidents. Authorities caution against such speculation, emphasizing the importance of relying on verified information as the investigations continue. Right out the gate, I think we just got word just before we came here to record. They did announce that the guy in the Las Vegas Cybertruck incident, they found him with a bullet hole in his head.
Yep.
So and now they're saying, I think TMZ posted and said he shot himself in the head before he blew up the truck. That makes it kind of harder to believe, especially considering the kind of patriot they've identified him as.
Just so I can keep track and we can go in order here. Let's start with the New Orleans one.
Yep.
Okay, so the guy was seen hours before he drove into the crowd. He was going around and planting IEDs around
multiple other people
square
as well that they were looking for that were doing that in New Orleans.
So they have him on video going and planting these IEDs. Then they have people going up to these coolers where these IEDs were placed and looking into the coolers and then walking away. So that is why they think that there was other suspects involved. But then they just came out and said that they don't believe that those people were involved with this
They're just
guy
suspects
at all.
or witnesses they want to talk to.
So first off, let me start by saying that I don't trust anything that the FBI is saying.
Because they are saying now they don't believe this was an act of terrorism. They think they were lone actors.
They came out right away and said, we don't believe that this is a act of terrorists, even though that this person had a ISIS flag draped over their car or their truck. But not only that, but we know, like, in the past 2 years on how suspect the FBI has been. And then they come out and said, oh, yeah, we don't think that this is terrorist. And then they walked it back a couple hours later when it became public that this guy had a ISIS flag on his truck. But my question is, why do you think that, and from my understanding, they haven't talked to these people that looked into these coolers. But they looked into the coolers. They had to have seen these things, right? And what do you think? Like, they are just like, oh, that doesn't look right, and then just walked away. It doesn't seem. Why seems didn't very they suspect.
Explode then, or like somebody didn't detonate them, or what? I'm so confused as to why.
Maybe he was supposed to get around to doing it and just didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if they're on a timer or if they're on a trigger. I never heard anything about that, but it's that is really suspect, really. And then the barriers thing. It's like, dude, it is 2024. How many times do we have to have this happen until they actually get to their senses?
Right, but, I mean, how many times are we going to see coincidences like this and our damn government and federal agencies are going to stop BSing us like, oh, that was just such a lucky coincidence.
I mean, this just happened in Germany.
Yeah.
They just had a massacre like this in Germany.
Did you guys hear, and maybe I'm mistaking something, so take it as a grain of salt, but I heard that there was a fire at wherever he was staying that morning as well.
His Airbnb.
Yeah, like 5:30 in the morning, they had police called to put out a fire, basically, or if somebody fire extinguished it. Either way, there was a fire, and he was gone already. So
this guy, he was in the service. He was in the Army Reserves for about 10 years. He was working as a human resources specialist, deployed to Afghanistan. He was at Fort Bragg, as far as my understanding, and they said he was radicalized sometime this summer. Earlier this summer, he got radicalized.
Seems weird, huh?
Now, my little tinglies start going up when I think about that shooter that was here.
That's what I told Nicole.
Last summer, Barcott, and we never heard anything about him.
How that concluded.
If he was radicalized somehow. Like, I just find it very suspect because you guys saw that video of him making a real estate video. Did you see that?
Yep.
He seems like a normal guy.
Yeah, like
very
great American guy. Yeah, like
he was born here. He was American, in the service, but all of a sudden he just got freaking radicalized this
over a
summer.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Not at all.
It's crazy to think.
Same thing with this Barcott guy.
Unless, of course, he was MK Ultra.
Which is, I'm not throwing it out. Like,
not at this point. You can't. That's too realistic.
At all.
It's
not throwing it out.
Crazy we could have been in this same situation like a few years ago when that guy did that attack in town, but he ended up going out a different way. Like,
and you always have to think about like the passion behind what they're doing. You don't radicalize someone in a summer to be that passionate that you're willing to just jam your truck through a crowd of people as hard and fast as you can, bro. Like,
only through social media is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, and you attacked innocent people. When you get radicalized, you have there's a target in your mind. It's not going to be just random everyday people, is it? No, it's going to be like somebody you're going after, somebody they've convinced you need to go after. To say you were radicalized and then they convince you to just, hey, there's a bunch of innocent people on Bourbon Street. We just want you to run your truck through them, kill as many of them as you can.
Yeah.
Plant these IEDs, blow some shit up. Like, and didn't he kill a couple cops in the shootout too?
Yeah, he killed 2 cops. I think
2 cops got killed in the shootout. So like, that's weird radicalization. That seems more like what we know to be MK Ultra.
Yeah, and it's like somebody on the news was asking like, so how do you just join? How do you just join ISIS? Is there somebody that you can call and be like, hey, I want to join your squad? Like, I feel like it would be more of a process.
Like, I get being able to brainwash people. Like, obviously we do it and the media does it, but that's also multiple different ways. They use social media, they use the regular media, and then they use numbers.
Yeah. But how do you take a regular, normal guy, an American, a former soldier, patriot, potentially, how do you take them and dement them that bad?
Exactly. Over a phone though, too. You don't have all those options. It's just you talking to them somehow.
And it is suspect. I guess he was severely in debt. So that makes it even more suspect too.
Yeah, but why? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Know enough information to really say what this is. We can only speculate, but it's so concerning because they got this guy to basically kamikaze himself for a cause that they only gave him a year's time potentially to really,
like 6 months.
6 months if it this summer to adapt to and radicalize him
that fast
so much that he's like, not only am I going to kill a bunch of innocent people that are Americans, kill some cops potentially on the way out, but I'm willing to die for this cause too.
Yeah.
I'm willing to die for this cause too. And he, they served, bro, that's what gets me the most.
They saved people.
That was so like, what is their intention with 2 potential people? Like, they're trying to show American terrorists, right? They're trying to show that we're, we have terrorists here that are American because they've been screaming that at the top of their lungs.
Once Cody posted that or sent us the real estate thing, I was like, oh, this is different. And then he sent the Cybertruck guy. Bro. I was like, what? That is. I was like, that guy looks like he is black.
Yeah.
Like
that could be Dion.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're a terrorist next thing you know. And this is the thing. It's the fear mongering, right? They're because people are posting this stuff and they're saying, you just never know who it could be now. Yeah. Because that's what they want us to see, because they probably got some people on their side. Like, we all know about these black ops that are going on in government right now, and that there are people who are the bad people in a sense, because we know they look for the sociopaths and all that stuff to recruit. So maybe they're doing this because they're going to use some of their own people to come after us. But in the meantime, they're trying to convince us it's like ISIS and, all these sleeper cells that we've been hearing about and that are here in the thousands. And bro, I don't know what to make of it, but this is so weird, so fishy, and completely out of the ordinary for their mind games that they like to play.
Yeah, and I sent you guys that video of Sarah Adams on Sean Ryan's show.
Yes.
She's a very intelligent. She's been studying terrorism for a long time. She worked for CIA, but she knew for a fact that Al Qaeda has been training terrorists to come over to the United States
to avenge.
She knows for a fact that there's at least
Osama,
1,000 Al-Qaeda terrorists that are in the United States currently that are planning to
all 2025
carry out attacks in the year of 2025. So is this one of them? I don't know. But
what a likely story when Trump's coming into office all of a sudden, right? Like now all of a sudden we have all this intel.
January 1st.
Yeah, but like this lady's not even working for the CIA anymore, supposedly. I have a hard time even buying these narratives because they're real good at infiltrating.
I hate hearing it too.
They're really good at infiltrating though. So like all of a sudden all these people were coming out who were former government, former, federal agencies, and they're just like spilling all these beans, and all of this stuff is actually coming true and happening.
Here's why I think that she's legit. She has been screaming at the rooftops, trying to tell people like there's something coming. You guys need to pay attention, and they're not paying attention to her.
But why? When you have an operative who's that informed,
because they probably want this to happen. I don't know,
but they want her to tell too. Then So maybe her information is fake information.
It is the worst thing because, like, every time because
they could take her out.
Yeah, they could take her out. And why didn't she say anything prior to now?
Like, she waited to go on like Sean Ryan.
No, she's been saying this for a while now.
I mean, even in the last 4 years, we're talking like, why did she wait so long?
Well, I don't think she's been waiting. I mean, I think she's been saying this for a long time now.
How long has she been out of working in the government then?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answers to that question, Dion. I just know I believe that she's legit.
I mean, I
don't know what to believe. I don't trust any of them. I'm even skeptical about Sean Ryan's purpose.
We got another one.
I agree though.
I just think it's too coincidental and too convenient timing, bro.
And it's spread
I'm not
so
to say that I don't buy
too.
what he's saying or that I don't believe it, but like the whistleblowers for the aliens that came out,
crazy.
Bro. But nothing ever came of it.
That shit was so whack.
Nothing ever came of that stuff. They were whistleblowing for what purpose?
To get their Netflix documentaries viewed more.
Or not even, I don't even think that. They're heightening everyone's awareness. They're creating a narrative. They're getting us all into the fear mongering. I'm not saying that's the case, but we have to think on both sides. Yeah. There's so much fear mongering in so many directions.
That he just wanted to. He didn't.
He doesn't. Maybe he doesn't know.
Taking sides.
It's not. I know, but maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he doesn't know that they're playing his hand on him.
Exactly.
Well, I think that he knew. I think that he knew that last guy was full shit.
What guy? The whistleblower guy?
The Eric Hecker guy.
Really?
The last one.
Yeah,
I was reading the comments on YouTube, and it kind of just seemed like he was like, I don't know. I think you're full shit.
That was the guy who told about seeing the UFO and all the kids and
in Antarctica. In Antarctica. The guy that was a firefighter or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to this. So this happened late or early morning hours of January 1st, right?
Yep.
And then like a few hours later, was it January 2nd? Right? January 2nd? No.
It was January 1st.
January 1st. It was a few hours later.
So like 3 hours later, 4 hours later.
4 hours later, guy pulls up, rented a Tesla from Turo, pulls up to the Trump Hotel, and it explodes. And
did anyone hear him shoot himself in the head? Because it's a Tesla. They could have killed him, planted it, and navigated him there remotely.
So Elon Musk did it?
No, but Elon Musk, you did share a video that Elon Musk is sending his own team to go and try and pull all the data from that.
Yeah, from the cameras.
Because they'll be able to see everything that happened inside that vehicle.
If those cameras still work, that would be so insane. Like, if he can get that footage, that's
for sure.
That's legit. Like,
that'll prove that guy was, he could have been MK Ultra, but at least we'll know that he's alive prior to him shooting himself.
And that it's him.
But
which would throw us for a whole nother loop. But yeah, I agree.
But back up. I was watching the press conference for the New Orleans thing, and Senator Kennedy was there. I like that guy. He was basically like calling out the FBI, and he's like, I'm going to give the FBI the benefit of the doubt, but we're going to get to the bottom of this, and you guys are going to know what happened. Yeah. He's basically saying, like, he'll give the FBI time to do its thing, but he's like, I'm not giving you any leeway. He's like, he knows that they would try to pull some stuff. Yeah. He's like, nope. After we get all the evidence and everything gets done, we are going to tell you exactly what happened, which needs to happen.
Yep.
But this Tesla truck, this guy was from Colorado and huge Trump supporter, patriotic guy. He was in SF. He's been in it for almost 20 years in the military. And he's currently, I'm pretty sure he's currently in because his ID says expires in 2027.
But said he was just on leave.
He was on, yeah. So he's currently serving. He was on leave.
That's why I want to know why he was put on leave.
So I heard, no, that's just come home.
Just he got to come home at that time.
Because he had been in Germany, so he came home from like a 10-month
probably
stint.
for Christmas or something.
Okay.
So, but I heard that, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard that there was some talk of infidelity in his marriage or something like that. But that still wouldn't explain you driving to
you're a Trump
Vegas
supporter.
Yeah.
You went to Trump's hotel in a Tesla. This feels like a hidden warning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they used an American patriot. Yeah, that's what I mean, a hidden warning, like a message. Yeah. They send an American true soldier patriot in a Tesla to Trump's hotel. Like there's 3 points right there where it's just like, okay, that was a message.
Here's the other thing that I find strange. Okay, so it said that the gun that he used was a Desert Eagle. So I'm gonna assume that it was a 50 cal. There's other versions of the
which
Desert
means it was
Eagle.
super loud.
That thing would have freaking blew his head off. Like
like a sniper,
right?
Yeah.
That they said that they could identify him by his IDs and supposedly tattoos, which I don't know how you could identify tattoos with the fire.
But how did his ID miraculously survive?
That's
just like the Ukrainian soldier thing or with the Korean soldiers and the 9/11 guys. You know, all these. You can melt steel beams and someone's passport survives. Yeah. This guy can have an explosion that blew out the entire interior of this Tesla truck, but somehow his ID survived. And to the quality of being able to read and identify who and what's on that ID. Yeah. That's sus.
It looked fine.
And here's the other thing. They've played that hand multiple times now. That's why we're so suspicious, because we're like, that's a weird coincidence that they were able to identify the guy who blew himself supposedly to smithereens, but his ID survives.
Again, we could be totally wrong.
Hell yeah, we probably could be.
This guy could have in fact been off the deep end and wanted to do something.
But it's a really weird coincidence that there was two of them. With the same kind of backgrounds.
They were both in the military.
Both rented from Turo.
Both served at Fort Bragg.
Yep.
Very, very strange.
Yeah.
Right?
Very, very strange. The timing of it all, everything.
The timing of it. And the other thing that I found strange was, so this guy was very experienced in SF. And I don't know, like, I'm not an expert in SF.
What is SF?
Special Forces.
Yeah.
But I know that those guys know how to do explosives. Right. There's no freaking way that he doesn't know how to do explosives. He's going to
use fireworks and gasoline.
Yeah,
the fireworks they were a warning. Like, if he wanted to really do damage, he would have done damage, bro. He had the skill set to do damage. There's but now remember, fireworks, all this stuff is traceable, bro.
Yeah,
they can find out where all those fireworks came from, where he bought them.
It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense.
But we're not going to hear these things because those are the details they won't give us because we're stupid. And what do we know? You know what I mean? So that's how they play us.
Yeah,
we'll never really know the details. They'll give us
just
what
like
they want.
The Vegas shooter.
Yeah, they'll give us enough to give.
That one's insane.
There's a huge weird conspiracy around the Vegas stuff and the like a prince from Afghanistan or Saudi Arabia or something like that. Yeah. Like I've read some weird wild conspiracy on that, as well as they were present and had the entire floor and they were looking to commit some kind of coup against the king or something like that too at that time. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff behind that one we could probably touch on someday, but it's a long one.
It's crazy to think like how many like mass casualties we've had like just in the past couple of months. Or attempted mass casualties.
Yeah, what are they preparing us for?
It's insane.
Well, again, this is another thing that's tied to Trump. Like that can be a coincidence either, right? Like, are you at Trump Hotel?
Yeah.
But so he's a Trump guy, but he decided that he wanted to blow himself up at the Trump Hotel or shoot himself, then blow himself up.
With fireworks in a Tesla truck.
And sometimes
he could have rented anything. He rented a Cybertruck, bro.
Like
anything.
Sometimes the only thing that will bring us together at the end of the day is going to be war. So maybe that's just the route that we have to go because people aren't going to be willing to get
but that's like a you don't have any other choice but to come together situation, but you have to lose everyone first. Like,
exactly.
I don't know, it seems wicked.
That's what it's going to be, though. That's what they're forcing our hand to do.
And of course, the FBI is saying that these two events are not tied together, but again, we just listed off everything. Do you
it's
guys
crazy
think
that the FBI is even allowed to go out in public right now with all the stuff that's hanging on them recently, with the Trump, incident. Like, look at how much information they're able to get within hours, bro. And we still don't know anything about the kid that tried to kill Trump.
Yeah.
They haven't even broken into his phone still. Yeah. But everything else that's happened, including the guy that killed the health executive, they got him, they got all his data, they got his phone, they got his computer stuff. Right. Instantly, bro. Instantly. But the guy who tried to assassinate a former president who was on an election campaign, we don't know nothing about, and their hands are tied.
Right.
I mean, come on, bro.
It'll be interesting to see if they put that in the record books, like in the history books they teach kids in like 15 years. Like, and then this president was attempted to be assassinated 2 times in 3 months. Like, there's no way.
I don't know, dude. It's all of it is very strange. I think I saved something that I would like to read if you guys don't mind.
What's it in regards to? Maybe we'll let you.
It's this.
That explosion was huge, by the way.
Yes.
Like, but also, why would you do that in a Cybertruck when you know it's like stainless steel? It's not a regular car.
It's bomb-proof and bulletproof.
There's no engine. There's no gasoline. Like, why would you not use a regular car?
Yeah. Message, bro.
All right. So this is off of One American News article. It says the now deceased man responsible for Wednesday's Cybertruck explosion in front of the Las Vegas-based Trump Hotel was a U.S. Army Green Beret who was previously deployed to Afghanistan twice. The man also previously served at the same base as the New Orleans New Year's Day terrorist who drove a rented truck with an ISIS flag through a crowd in the earlier morning hours of the morning. Additionally, both him and the NOLA terrorist utilized the same company to rent their vehicles. 37-year-old Matthew Livesberger have parked his rented Cybertruck in front of Las Vegas hotel. Vehicle is full of fireworks like explosive eventually going off and injuring 7 bystanders near the blast. In addition to killing Livesberger, Metropolitan Police Department Kevin McHale explained that he was found inside with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head with a handgun found at his feet. Livesberger reportedly served in the Army since 2006, rising up the ranks through multiple deployments. Highly trained Special Forces unit working to combat terrorism. The former Green Beret was also awarded 2 Bronze Stars along with Valor Device for courage under fire, combat infantry badge, and an Army Commendation Medal with Valor. The FBI stated that it was conducting a law enforcement activity at a residential address in Colorado Springs, adding that the activity is related to the explosion in Las Vegas on Wednesday due to an ongoing nature of the investigation. No further information is provided. Livesberger's time in the military saw him working closely with critical intelligence capabilities in the Special Forces, allowing him access to highly sensitive military information. He was the most recent stationed at Camp Panzer in Germany, where he served as a remote autonomous systems manager responsible for operations, maintenance, and integration of drones for the Army. Meanwhile, Livesberger has now been linked to Shamdallah, the radical terrorist and former Army veteran who killed at least 15 people. Both rented the vehicles from Turo. Both served at Fort Bragg. We already know that. Another strange coincidence is that Jabbar and Livesberger are also both reportedly lived in North Carolina at the same time. So, yeah, a lot of that we already touched, but I just wanted to reiterate all of the known facts there. So he's a highly decorated guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It don't matter. Here's the other thing. I'm willing to bet Elon's going to come back and say there was no data. It was tampered with. The cameras were tampered with, something along those lines. All that's going to mean, though, is why the hell did they get a Cybertruck and then tamper with all of the shit in it just to pull this off when they could have just rented a damn Chevy and blown it up with no bomb-proof anything? They could have caused way more damage in a minivan or anything that wasn't an actual truck that has a bomb what do they call that thing on the bottom?
It's like made of steel. The whole thing's made
but
of
it's
steel.
bomb-proof on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's so you can't blow it up from putting something underneath it, and then it's got bulletproof windows. And if you look at the damn thing, it held its own pretty damn well from being blown up from the inside.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to bet there's a way to get the information unless it's been tampered with, and that's what we're going to hear next. Is that Elon's going to say something along the lines of they messed with the equipment and there was no footage or no recordings or. Who knows? But they can go back as far as they need to, bro.
Yeah, what's insane is that
they can go down to whoever rented it and drove off the lot with it, bro. Like that, they can get that data.
Yeah.
So we're about to see some really unprecedented come of this, I think.
it's crazy to think in the future that you, while driving your car, will have no privacy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You already don't.
Yeah.
They can turn all of our cars off right now.
That's fine, but my Ford doesn't have like cameras. At least it might have voice control. I'm sure, but maybe not cameras.
Yeah.
Either way, man, it's crazy. It's crazy times, and I think it's giving them so much more of an upper hand on the things that they want to do. And
yeah,
whose foot is hanging out in his shoe, bro?
Oh, my bad. White too. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. This one's tough. It's brand new information. It's happening as we're talking right now, too. Things are developing. So
a lot of questions.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of questions.
Yeah. Hopefully we get some answers.
I really do hope. I hope that they come out with something.
Well, and I mean, at least tell us if it's a terrorist attack. Tell us who it is and what they did and why they did it, and let's go get them. Fuck it.
Well, wasn't that chick saying too that they're planning to avenge the killing of Osama bin Laden?
Yeah,
and that's why we're seeing all these attacks. For 2025.
Osama bin Laden, his I think it's his eldest son, is they claim that he was dead, but he's not dead.
Really,
he's alive and thriving, and he's basically the HBIC right now of all Al Qaeda. Yeah,
the head bin Laden in charge.
Yeah,
that's right. So I don't know, man. It's not good. It's not good.
I mean, we only got a few more days until Trump dog's in office.
Like I posted before, dude. Trump obliterated ISIS. There was hardly any ISIS,
right. Which is why they're using ISIS right now. They're trying to make a statement too, like he didn't get rid of ISIS. They're still here and they're coming for him. Yeah. Like there's all kinds of statements being made here. It's crazy.
It is kind of crazy that they hate him so much, but I get it. He's killed like a couple people that were pretty big. So
Abu Bakari, die like a dog.
Yeah, it's insane. But I mean, like I said, we've got a couple days, and once Trump gets in office, he's gonna have to do mass deportation pretty quickly. So,
well, dude, and that's the other thing is he's got to clean up our intelligence, our 3-letter agencies like that. That has got to get cleaned up big time.
But obviously, I mean, we've got these people that are inside the military and stuff like that. Like there's nothing.
I'm glad you brought that up. This, I believe, is going to make our jobs harder.
Yeah, very hard
with recruiting. Because right now, when you recruit somebody, they all get vetted, but some of them get vetted more thoroughly.
Yeah,
right, where they actually have a person from Homeland Security come in, and they'll ask them a bunch of questions. But I believe now they are going to be very thoroughly vetted. And it's going to be a process now.
That's good. I mean, but yeah.
It should have always been that way. Let's just be real.
Cody's like, I'm trying to get my numbers up.
Well, if I want to be honest, like it's mostly like green card holders where they really bring in the people that want to vet them thoroughly.
Yeah. So. It's tough, and it's especially when you're running into people who are on the fence about it. Like it's not necessarily the thing they want to do, but they don't know what else they could do.
Well, and you don't know anybody's intentions, right? Yeah. Like I don't have the training to look at somebody and say, oh yeah, you're joining because you want to cause harm to Americans.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're not going to tell me that.
See, and the amount of information that's withheld from you is becoming more and more understandable because now they can't share it with regular people, you know? Like,
so it is very concerning that both these guys were in the military.
That makes it a lot worse for sure.
If the one from the Trump hotel is in fact
who he is
and he did what he, tried to do or whatever, that is concerning.
That is the big thing. It's like who rented the truck on Toro? Was it him?
Yeah, I think that's the thing where we have to wait and find out now, because that'll tell us a lot, I think.
And and why Vegas? Like, why Vegas?
Yeah, why didn't they go to like Trump Tower or something like?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Why Vegas?
Because that would be a much bigger deal in New York on New Year's.
Yeah. But all right, let's shift gears a little bit. We're still going to keep it kind of international and kind of threatening towards America. So we'll jump into the next one, and then I do have a quick video I think I want to play, kind of piggyback off of this. So the next one here is China.
China.
So China's recent unveiling of its 6th generation fighter jet prototypes marks a significant advancement in military aviation with potential implications for global air power dynamics, particularly concerning the United States. So here's a little bit about the features. It's got a tailless design. This new aircraft features a tailless, diamond-shaped delta wing configuration, enhancing stealth capabilities by reducing radar cross-section and improving aerodynamic efficiency. These designs incorporate cutting-edge stealth features aimed at minimizing detectability, potentially surpassing current 5th-generation stealth capabilities. The aircraft are expected to achieve superior speed, agility, and operational range, with some reports suggesting capabilities extending to near space altitudes, which is crazy.
Wow.
So implications for us: the development of these advanced fighter jets positions China as a formidable competitor in achieving air dominance, potentially challenging the U.S. military's technological edge. China's advancements may alter the strategic balance, particularly in the Asia-Pacific region, affecting U.S. military planning and the security dynamics of allies and partners. And in response, the U.S. may need to expedite its next-generation air dominance, or NGAD, program to maintain technological parity and superiority. Here's some concerns and considerations. Intellectual property and espionage. There are apprehensions regarding the methods employed in China's rapid technological advancements, including potential cyber espionage and intellectual property theft. The introduction of these advanced aircraft could prompt neighboring countries to enhance their own military capabilities, potentially leading to an arms race in the region. In summary, China's progress in developing 6th-generation fighter jets signifies a notable leap in military aviation, posing strategic challenges for the United States and necessitating careful consideration and future defense planning. So with that being said and that knowledge, let's take a quick look at this video that Dion shared earlier.
And I should have looked this up because I didn't look into this, so I just want to fair warn you. I'm sure it's real. I don't know why somebody would post that and not have that be real, but we probably should have looked up this article. So I just want to let you guys know.
Let's not even show it then, for the sake of not doing our due diligence, because you're right.
Yeah, because I mean that's crazy, but
it's completely unrelated to the jet thing anyway.
Yeah,
it's supposedly there's another. China has made a New Year's threat saying, "Hey, there's war, there's coming, and there's nothing you guys."
They said they're going to take back Taiwan. Is what the video says. They said they're them getting
and no one can stop them. They made that clear. But anyways, to the point of this jet, this is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I also feel like them showing it to us right now means it's not the latest of their capabilities.
No,
either.
It looks super
cool,
by the
because
way.
They wouldn't show us this and think they're already ahead of us in terms of technological advances. So what's your take on it, Cody? You play in this game.
Well, I think that they have their own version of what we have.
Right.
As far as advanced technology in the aerospace, we going back to all these crash landings. I think that we've been reverse engineering these things for many years, for decades.
Yeah.
And I think that they have as well.
Yeah. Because they talk about this thing can fly in orbit or in space, essentially, in and out of it at will, as well as carry air to ground munitions. So that's pretty awesome.
I mean that's amazing.
Crazy stuff that they got going on.
Well,
I don't know and it looks a lot like our stealth bomber, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
The other thing is like we don't show what we have very often.
Right. That's what I mean.
The stuff that we do show, like the B-2 bomber, they'll just do like flyovers and stuff, but that's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
The stuff that we have, I don't think anybody knows about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that's why I'm not buying this shit.
Yeah. Especially like the super advanced stuff,
right.
Like with potentially alien technology.
Yeah.
We probably will never see that. You know what I mean? Well, we won't. I shouldn't say never.
They'll use it on us, not show it to us.
It'll be, I think it'll be a shock and awe thing. At least I have to hope that if we ever did get to that point with China, that ours is more advanced than theirs is. Right. I hope.
Yeah.
I have to believe that ours is more advanced.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like we've been at it longer. because I think it was us that was testing the nuclear bombs first, right?
Yeah.
And that's when we started really getting involved with these things.
Yeah.
And they started crashing.
What do you think in terms of us and being the first to things like that? And then the knowledge of everything that's going on with Trump and all the conspiracies and the anti-conspiracy theories that are happening right now with people like Matt Kim and a lot of other people. And then just knowing that the technology, like, for example, that Tesla had, it was Trump's uncle who ended up with that stuff in his possession first. And he worked for the CIA, didn't he? At some level or for some kind of federal agency back then?
Don't remember if he did or not.
In any case, interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of strange. I don't know what to make of it. I just wanted to throw that because there seems to be some kind of weird connection.
Well, it is suspect that I believe it was the FBI that or maybe it wasn't the FBI. It was some federal agency that raided
way back
Tesla's place of where he was living and stole all of his stuff, and nobody knows what happened to it.
Right.
All of his documents of his inventions and stuff.
Well, I thought that stuff is what Trump's uncle got possession of.
No idea.
Yeah.
Not sure. I just know that there was federal agents that raided his quarters and stole all of his stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. There's the advancements of our technology and our capabilities in the world right now make the thought of war such a scary thing.
I do think, I mean, even if that isn't real, which I think it is probably real, China's definitely going to try and take Taiwan, and I don't think they're going to try. I think they're gonna, and I think we're probably going to let them. I can't imagine. I know we're supposed to stop it, but...
Well, it's my understanding that, thankfully, but we're starting to build a lot of that stuff here in America, especially in Arizona. I think they're building a lot of factories and stuff in Arizona for like chips and these huge like supercomputers and stuff. So I think that they see that and they know that that China's going to probably take Taiwan and they don't want to risk it. So they're just like, you know what, we're going to have to start building here in America.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's for the best. I mean, obviously we don't want people to get hurt in Taiwan.
I mean, that sucks, but we definitely don't want to go to World War III over it either.
Over Taiwan. Yeah, exactly. So, but I don't think they're going to defend themselves if China does invade them. They don't have the capabilities.
No,
it would be depending on us also defending them, which is what we're supposed to do. But
I mean, how many other people across the world depend on the U.S.?
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's like we spent $200+ billion in Ukraine, and here China has this 6th generation fighter, and they're talking about like, oh, we need to up our game here.
And we're like, we got to give it to Ukraine. We got to send them one more package before the 6th.
Yeah.
It's like,
and do you see that Biden sent off like $5 billion more for like wages and stuff for government officials and crazy.
You got to pad the pockets before
Did
you
you
leave,
guys hear him talk about this terrorist attack?
Yeah. It was bad.
You guys, one of you sent
he
it.
even went, oh, hold on one second, and flipped his book. And then they turned the prompters back on or something happened with the prompter. You could tell because he's like, oh, there it is. Okay.
It was so bad. Yeah, because his eyes zoned back in. You're like, dude, don't talk. Just shut up.
He's clearly not presidenting.
Yeah.
Right now, bro.
Could you imagine if we had that for 4 more years?
Yeah, no way, bro.
I'd be so shocked, dude. I'd be so disappointed in people. Like,
now he's coming out and saying that he's disappointed that he stepped down.
Because he thinks he would have beat Trump.
He thinks he would have won.
Oh God,
that's so.
Kamala had the best chance of beating Trump. There's no way Biden was gonna pull out of all the stuff that everyone was already talking about.
Especially after another debate too. If they had to debate a second time,
clearly delusional.
I don't get it. I don't get what goes through people's minds anymore. But
all right, let's start to lighten it up a little bit, but still keep it pretty hype here because there's some new developments in something more local to us, and that could be pretty groundbreaking here. So let's take a look at it. This next one here is showing some recent developments that have emerged regarding the case of none other than George Floyd, whose death in May of 2020 led to significant national and international protests against police brutality and systemic racism. So a quick re-examination of autopsy findings Court approval for tissue testing. A federal judge in Minneapolis has permitted attorneys representing Derek Chauvin, the former police officer convicted of murdering George Floyd, to examine preserved tissue samples from Floyd's autopsy. This decision allows Chauvin's legal team to test his heart tissue and other samples to explore alternative theories about Floyd's cause of death. The argument is Chauvin's attorney contended that Floyd's death may have resulted from underlying health conditions such as heart disease, potentially exacerbated by a rare tumor rather than asphyxiation due to Chauvin's actions. They argue that it is this information, that if this information had been available earlier, Chauvin might have chosen not to plead guilty to federal charges. Implications for the involved officers. If the re-examination of autopsy samples yields new insight supporting the defense's claim, it could influence appeals or post-conviction relief efforts for Derek Chauvin. However, legal experts suggest that overturning the conviction would be challenging given the substantial evidence presented during the trial. Bullshit. Effects on other officers. 3 other former Minneapolis police officers were convicted of federal civil rights violations related to George Floyd's death. While the current legal motions pertain specifically to Chauvin, any significant findings could potentially impact the case of these officers, depending on the nature of the new evidence and subsequent legal arguments. The events surrounding George Floyd's death have led to numerous police reforms across the United States, including changes in use of force policies, increased accountability measures, and efforts to rebuild community trust. The re-examination of the case underscores the complexities involved in addressing systemic issues within law enforcement. As these legal proceedings continue, they serve as a reminder of the enduring impact of George Floyd's death. I'm not going to read that because that's bullshit. But crazy, that they're even opening this up for the potential to go and revisit this for him. I think everyone who played the side that we played when watching this understands there's a lot more to it than what he was convicted of. I mean, clearly the guy was on drugs. Clearly there was a lot of things happening. I don't think I believe necessarily that the knee on the neck is what killed him, or if it was even, bad practice as a police officer based on the evidence that was given, like in that documentary that we watched. So it's really hard to say, but it's a potential for them to have something to maybe change the outcome of what has already happened.
If that happens,
do you think they just reignite?
Do you think people go crazy again?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have already come to terms with the idea that this isn't what it seems.
I don't know. I don't think that's true.
I think there's a select group of people.
Exactly.
And they're a certain type of person.
But I think that people have also woken up and realized that the media is not your friend.
Yeah.
But it's tough because you have to think of it in the sense of
people are easily manipulated.
Yeah, they're so easy.
Of course.
And
sensationalism is what they live for.
We're talking Minneapolis. I'm not talking about North Dakota.
Right.
Of course. Those people will go crazy.
Minneapolis is still a shithole and people love it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's
any
shooting still every day there, I think.
Any reason to go and loot and just cause damage is what some people want. Like that's and this gives them an excuse.
Right. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I don't think it'll be
as big
as what it was.
Yeah. Every time I think about this situation, and I'm like, just the amount of damage it caused and the fact that people are putting this guy on a pedestal, that like when I die or when you die or when Cody dies, no one's going to think about what you've done for your people, your community, like other than like me and Cody or you and like that's all we think about. But we're talking about this dude who tried to do a crime and then didn't want to go in the police officer's car.
He committed a crime while committing a crime.
Literally.
And then tried to avoid the penalty for the crime.
Yeah.
Which was also a crime within itself. So like this dude, he was junkied out. He was high out of his mind. He was using counterfeit money. He had the same stuff happen. We don't have to revisit this whole thing because we know how it goes. But like they had one of the cops that was there was like, yeah, I did the same issue with him the week prior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was all drugged out. He was pretending like he was hurt and hyperventilating and all that stuff. So he had a history of playing it off.
Yes.
Only this time he was loaded with fentanyl.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that he deserved to die or that he should have died.
That's
that
not
day.
what we're implying here.
And
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm not a bad person. I'm just saying that we're immortalizing someone who should not be immortalized.
Right.
This is someone who's done crime for a very long time, and those people that we shouldn't be putting like he committed a crime, didn't want to pay the consequences,
Right.
and that's completely fine.
And we
That was
found a
his
way
choice.
to make him a martyr.
Yeah,
Which is weird.
it's very
Like,
weird.
bro, my dad was a criminal and a junkie his whole life. If my dad died of heroin and they tried to hold him on a pedestal, I'm confident that I would be like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
This seems fake because that's not who he was. He wasn't a hero.
no,
You know what I mean? My dad wasn't a productive citizen. He wasn't a good father. He wasn't a role model. He didn't do anything. You know, he was my dad, and I love him for that. And it
Yes.
sucks that he's passed. But all of the way that he lived was all the reason in the world why I've become who I'm trying to become today, because I didn't want to walk that path, because that leads to nothingness, bro. That doesn't give you any kind of valor or any kind of, you know, credibility or anything like that. How they turned this situation into that blows my mind.
makes no
because
sense.
they destroyed policing in America, first of all, right? Look at the problems we're having today. Like, that's all a direct. They're touting, oh, you know, this has changed police, direction, going forward. This has been such an international situation, but it's not for the better.
Yeah,
They're acting like if though, it changed policing for the better. It did not. It didn't do anything. It made it worse. Now they can't police.
Yeah.
And now there's higher crime, and there's more of it everywhere you go. And more kinds of crime are happening that didn't used to happen, bro. Because no one could do anything about it because of the new laws around this. So it's almost like this was just a reach to get to that point, and that guy was just the scapegoat for it.
And it's more dangerous, I think, being a cop too now.
Oh, for sure.
They're scared.
Ask cops that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all on edge.
I just saw a video of I don't know where it was. God, where was it? I don't know where it was, but there was a cop got involved in a traffic stop, and the individual was reaching for a gun, and the cop told him to stop. And the individual pulled a gun, shot him, killed the cop.
that's insane.
So
Too much. Yeah, you just don't know what you're dealing with, man. So it's a fine line. I get it, because yes, there is bad cops, bro, but there's bad everyone's, and it's we have to be able to trust somebody to be some kind of enforcer, and they got to have certain boundaries and limitations without a doubt. But what we've done now has only made society worse.
Yeah.
It didn't help society. Basing everything that they decided to do with police reform and all this stuff on this George Floyd situation wasn't for the better, hasn't improved us as a society. It's made society, culture, policing, everything way worse than it's ever been.
Yep.
100%.
Way more divided.
Now we have, and then you know what? Now you triggered a bunch of cops too. You pissed a lot of cops off, triggered them, and changed their mindsets and their mentalities going forward. And now a lot of them are kind of the bad guys now in their own rights. They look at black culture and they're like, I'm not dealing with this shit no more. Not today. This ain't happening. And so they go out and make bad decisions based on frustration. And that doesn't give them the right. I'm not saying it's okay, but that's how much it's escalated things to get even worse at this point. So this will be interesting to see how this plays out, and what comes of it, because it is new evidence that they're allowing into the court, but it's not new understanding to anybody that was following it from the right side of understanding. So
dude, that just made me realize how fast time is flying by. It feels like that was just yesterday when that happened, but
it's wild,
it's almost 5 years ago.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes of that, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get a little more lighthearted as we come to an end here, huh? All right. So here's this one here. This may be the last one we do anyway. But this one is regarding some potential new changes coming for gym culture.
Oh, yeah?
So recent legislation efforts aim to enhance accessibility in fitness facilities for individuals with disabilities. Notably, the Exercise and Fitness for All Act. This was introduced by Senator Tammy Duckworth, who is a Democrat, by the way, also is in a wheelchair, and her companion legislation by Representative Mark DeSaulnier, who is also a Democrat. They both seek to mandate that gyms and fitness centers provide accessible exercise machines, equipment, and classes. Additionally, these bills propose that at least one employee trained to assist individuals with disabilities be present during all operating hours. So the implications for gym owners. The compliance requirements are gym owners would need to assess their current equipment and facilities to ensure they meet the new accessibility standards. This may involve investing in specialized equipment and modifying existing spaces to accommodate individuals with disabilities. Staff training. The proposed legislation requires that at least one staff member trained to assist individuals with disabilities be available at all times. Gym owners would need to invest in training programs to ensure compliance. Some financial considerations. Implementing these changes could entail significant costs, particularly for small or independently owned gyms like me. However, the legislation may offer provisions such as tax credits to help offset expenses related to compliance. Some enhanced inclusivity. Beyond regulatory compliance, adopting these measures can broaden a gym's client base by making facilities more welcoming to individuals with disabilities, potentially leading to increased membership and community engagement. So I'll start off here because I'm the SME. This is absolute crap because I have one of the most handicapped people in my gym right now that trains his ass off every single day with every piece of equipment we have in that gym. He has one good working arm, one good working leg. Actually, he cut one of his arms off already because it was no good. He also has a leg that is bummed that doesn't work. It's just in a brace that moves with him. And this guy deadlifts. This guy does Stairmasters for 30, 40 minutes at a time. This guy lifts weights. He uses machines. He does Muay Thai. He boxes. Sauna for 30 to 40 minutes at a time. This guy is an absolute savage, and he's damn near brain dead, and he's the hardest worker in the gym, has never complained about his inability to use machines and equipment. Nobody is making handicap equipment for gyms and fitness centers to fill their spaces with, bro. So, like, they're not just talking about, oh, this is going to be implemented and you guys got to, make it more accessible. They're saying you got to replace equipment so that they can use it. Space. So where would they draw the line though, bro? Yeah. I got a chest equipment, I got one leg day, I got one bicep, one tricep, and one back machine. Is that all I got to get for them that they can get into? Like, they're not getting a full workout.
Well, you know what I mean? And then what's the criteria of what it needs to be?
Right.
Because we've had people with a wheelchair come in there and work out.
Yes. There's a guy that visits us regularly from out of town that's in a wheelchair that trains. He's never complained.
So what's our criteria?
He's never complained.
So my question to you is, what are you required to have right now as a gym owner? So say you want to open a gym, what are you required to have? You have to have.
I have to have a handicap accessible ramp to them, and my bathrooms have to have handicap accessibility, which they do.
But in general, as a gym, you just have to have bathrooms, obviously parking spaces,
and
that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, what are they? They're gonna add a whole new list of things.
This tax credits, bro. That's not gonna help anybody.
They give you $200.
You limit what a gym can create for themselves to the smallest percentage of clientele you'll have, bro.
Yeah.
They're acting like tons of people in wheelchairs and that have
what if they
cerebral palsy and all this stuff are just gonna come flooding in the doors if you provide the provisions for them.
What if they gave you like 500,000?
That was
the next thing I was going to get to. They would have to supply some kind of subsidies to gyms to pull this off. First of all, because it would cost that kind of money, bro. It's like $5 to $10 grand for a new piece of equipment. One piece of equipment.
Yeah,
it's true.
A handicap piece of equipment is going to be more expensive. You know that already out the gate, bro. Because this is how they get down around in America, you know what I mean? So, like, yes, that's going to be supply and demand. It's going to be way more expensive.
Trainers proper training for handicap.
During all open hours, you have to have a trainer capable of training these people, bro. Are you going to be able to charge them for these trainers? Because that's going to cost.
Yeah.
Because if I got to have a specialized trained person who always has to be on staff just in case someone in a wheelchair decides to show up,
bro.
But still, it's going to cost me, bro.
That's the thing.
It's going to cost me to keep him and one other person
on
during
better
staffed
start training,
hours.
Son.
During staffed hours, though, that's more than an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna have to have multiple people trained on this. Where do we get that training from to certify someone for handicap training?
Who pays for it?
Yeah, and then to keep that person on, like most trainers make $20 to $25 an hour in the early stages, bro. That's a lot of money, 8 hours a day for potentially a client to show up. I don't mind paying that for them when they're working every hour with a client.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to just have them on staff in case somebody shows up.
Where was this
in
the process?
It's not final yet. Let's see. It's important to note that while these bills have been introduced, they have not yet become law. Gym owners should monitor the progress of this legislation and begin evaluating.
So it hasn't even been voted.
It's 2 Democrats that are introducing this, though, too.
When?
This one lady is in a wheelchair, Tammy Duckworth, and then the other guy, Mark DeSaulnier, of course, he's a Democrat out of California, so go figure. But yeah, it's something they're working on, and I think it's going to screw over the fitness industry if they mandate this, bro.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
That seems real, like.
So
can't imagine.
Are they going to go into every gym in America and write off like, all right, this guy doesn't have this, so he gets a fine?
No, you know what they do is they open up the avenue because, bro, I'm going to tell you right now. I remember a dude came to my gym one time and tried to play this shit like in the early stages. There is people, handicapped people, who make a living out of going to business to sue them, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have handicap accessible bathrooms. I'm suing them. Like, there's people who make a living. A guy showed up at our gym many years ago, and people were warning me, like, this is what this guy does. He was trying to make complaints and stuff into the gym already as it started, and I didn't know what to do. I was all being careful with myself, you know, because I was pretty new to the game, bro.
Yeah.
But this would open up the floodgates for those people.
Oh, for sure.
So they won't have to monitor it, bro. They'll have plenty of snitches. There's plenty of, and I'm not saying this to be rude, bro, but most people that are handicapped are pretty miserable people, mentally, emotionally. Like they're down in the pits. They're like, you know, they think life sucks, that everything's against them. They're not happy about their physical conditions. And so you're going to bring a lot of unhappy people into a situation trying to find glory in lawsuits and, you know, finding gyms that aren't catering to it. Like small gyms like mine, bro, like we're not, you know, the YMCA. We're not the 24-hour fitnesses. Like, we're just all going to go out of business with something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a lot of handicapped people who are able to work out. They do, you know.
They do it.
Yeah. They make it work. Yeah,
they come and make it happen. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We have like 2 or 3 people in our facility that have regularly done that. You know what I mean? So they just know that they have to work a little harder than the average person to make things happen. But we've seen it. You remember, what was her name? Liz?
Yep.
That she was a competitor. I mean, she had one arm and she makeshifted all kinds of contraptions to use cable machines and do deadlifts and all that stuff.
And she was deaf too.
And she was deaf, you know what I mean?
A little bit blind too.
But yeah, she got around. She made it happen. This guy right now, Mogwai, is an absolute savage, bro. I don't know too many people who train harder than him and more often than he does. He has a gym membership at several gyms in town.
And he's the nicest dude ever,
he humps on one dead leg in the middle of winter and all summer long, all over town. He's just walking everywhere, bro, because he's just so determined to not accept his handicap.
He had an aneurysm, right? That's what.
Yes. It was a result of being blown up in war, though. He got hit with shrapnel and stuff like that. And so, like, over time, complications came, and he started having seizures, and then he had a brain aneurysm, and then they had to do surgery, and yeah, it was just a big old mess.
Yeah, I see that guy. He's a hardcore.
He's a hardcore dude. He takes no BS. He used to come into the gym. I remember when you were working there too.
Yep.
But he'd come in and be like, "What's up, man?" He'd be like, "None." And he'd say like, "You training today?" Like he has a way to communicate. But essentially, he's like, "Are you work out today?" And I was just like, "Oh man, I got my back, my sciatic's been killing me. I haven't been able to train lately." And he just looks at me and goes, "So?" And I feel so guilty because this dude's walking into training my gym with one dead arm, one dead leg, and he's just he's gonna grind it out for an hour and a half and do his thing. And I'm telling, "Oh yeah, my back hurts. I didn't work out today." And he's just like, "So what?" And I just look at him like, "Yeah, you're right. You got me, bro." Like, I can't say nothing to that because he's a bad dude, you know? But yes, the ones that want to do it, they do it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how you make a handicap accessible machine. It's not going to be a high use ticket item.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
So,
before.
and you're not going to get into it and use it if it's handicap accessible.
And then what if I do? Then what?
Yeah. You're going to tell someone they got to wait.
Yeah, like nah, bro. I'm using this one. It hits my chest just right.
He's like, it's made for wheelchairs.
Yeah,
like, I don't care, bro. I'm on it. I'm supersetting. Watch out.
Yeah, my legs hurt today, so I'm. Like,
so I don't know, man. It hasn't happened yet, but the idea of it blows my mind. The fact that they're talking about even implementing it is crazy as all.
People, and I'm not saying anybody specifically, but people will be like, "Oh, this is so sick. I love this machine," and they would be on that thing all the time. Yeah. I guarantee it.
It's crazy. All right, one last one. This one kind of again segues right in. So this is the ever so awesome Ozempic or semaglutide, known as GLP-1 receptor. So apparently this stuff is jacking people up. There's all kinds of studies that say it's safe and effective and whatnot, but let's talk about some of the cardiovascular implications first. So for benefits, here's what they're saying about it. Research indicates that semaglutide may reduce the risk of major adverse cardiovascular events, such as heart attacks and strokes, particularly in individuals with type 2 diabetes and existing heart disease.
Diabetes.
In 2020, the FDA approved Ozempic to lower such risk in adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. Additionally, a study involving overweight or obese individuals with pre-existing cardiovascular conditions found that semaglutide reduced heart attacks, strokes, and deaths by 20% over 3 years compared to a placebo. Risk, however, despite these benefits, some studies suggest that GLP-1 agonists like Ozempic may increase heart rate, which could be concerning for individuals with certain cardiovascular conditions. Regular monitoring and consultation with healthcare providers are recommended for patients with pre-existing heart disease. And then we have, I can't pronounce this word, but ophthalmic concerns, or what they call NION, which stands for non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy. Recent studies have, I blew that one, but recent studies have identified a potential link between semaglutide used and an increased risk of NION, a rare eye condition that can lead to sudden vision loss. Research from the University of Southern Denmark found that individuals using Ozempic were more than twice as likely to develop NION compared to those on other diabetes treatments. While the absolute risk remains low, this association warrants further investigation. Some clinical trials have reported that semaglutide can cause vision changes, including blurred vision and worsening of diabetic retinopathy. Patients with a history of eye diseases should discuss these potential risks with their healthcare providers. In summary, Ozempic offers significant benefits in managing type 2 diabetes and reducing certain cardiovascular risk. Emerging evidence suggests that potential associations with rare but serious eye conditions are ongoing. Research is essentially is happening to essentially fully understand these risks and to guide safe and effective use of semaglutide. So I call BS on this whole article, though, for the simple fact that they'll never, ever
admit
and turn on their pharmaceutical stuff.
Yeah.
Never. And to say, oh, look, you have diabetes, we have a medication for it.
Yeah.
Instead of telling them the actual ways to heal themselves, like stop eating bullshit, go on a good diet, stop eating sugars and carbs and things like that are actually causing this. They'll never do that. They'll never even dive into that research. They've never even touched the diet research side of it in the medical field. They're more interested in profiting off of our illnesses.
Oh, that's why they made it say, okay, you lost a bunch of weight, not that you got rid of your type 2 diabetes. You just lost a bunch of weight. Right. I want to do that.
And now here's what this is going to do, though. This is going to cause people to, yes, they'll lose weight from this. They're going to get all kinds of other complications, and they're going to go get medication to help them with those complications. Mm-hmm. That's what this is all about and always has been. I can't remember the name of the doctor, but he was like a medical scientist who works in pharmaceutical industry, who was recorded saying on record, someone said, what is your favorite like vaccine or medication, that you've ever helped, come up with? And he said, my favorite kind in general are the medications that we come up with to help with the ailments that other medications have caused.
Yeah.
Like that's their thing that they love. They don't like finding solutions. They like finding carryovers, bro.
Yeah.
Like this medicine's not really gonna fix the problem. It's gonna mask it by a small percentage, but it's gonna create all kinds of other things. With just like all the stuff we see promoting these things, like
that's what I'm
this
saying.
will help with your heart disease or your diabetes, but it also can cause death, cause itchiness, cause rash, cause STDs. So it's like a take it at your own risk kind of thing, and people do. Doctors prescribe this with all these side effects listed out, clear as day, bro. And people take this stuff. Yeah, it's mind blowing.
Have you guys ever heard of like Hers or Hims? It's like a brand,
like the sex pills or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's actually just a women's and men's health brand. So like they make shampoo, they make hair loss shampoo, they make
make wiener
ED pills.
Yeah, okay.
They now do GLP-1 agonists. Like companies like that, they're sickening. Like you're. And I get the ads a ton for Hers, Hims, Blue Chews.
You be buying them gas station pills and they track your phone.
I wish that was the case, but it's not.
Blue Rhinos.
So you're getting young people who do not need these things. Ads for these things, and that's all I'm seeing over and over again. And then you got podcasts, and that's why I was telling you guys, like, God, I wouldn't want to be sponsored by one of them because I couldn't do like the Hers or Hims because like that's gonna mess you up like really bad as a 25-year-old man. If I started taking ED medication just because I wanted to be harder or longer, I'm gonna be hurt at 35.
I'm almost willing to guarantee if you're a 25-year-old man who is having problems with ED, there's a way to fix it permanently. You're doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Got that low T.
Definitely.
You got that low T. Sure. You're eating the wrong foods, whatever it may be, bro. There's a way to fix it without all this nonsense, but they'll never give that to us.
No,
that's never going to be
just
the
take
solution.
This.
Yeah, never.
No,
this reminds me of the Netflix show, The Substance. Have you guys seen that? It's really messed up. It's with Demi Moore. It's really new, but it's basically Demi Moore. She's this like fitness girl that records fitness shows on TV, and she's becoming older and she's kind of getting phased out. So she's trying to, do something to stay younger. And so there's this medication that she takes. She's injecting herself, and this is where it becomes messed up. But basically, her backside of her spine opens up, and a younger, hotter version of her comes out. And then basically like she only has like 7 days she can stay out of her body before she comes back. But long story short, it just reminds me of that. Like I feel like people that are taking this Ozempic and stuff, they're just looking for the quick fix, but they're not going to see the implications of it right away.
Yeah,
there's definitely going to be some.
Or the doctors don't know how to connect or make a relationship of the root cause of this, so like something's going to come of it later down the line, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, you must be something you're eating or your blood work. They're never going to be like, oh no, it's that pharmaceutical stuff that you're getting from us. They're never going to do that. They're going to say like, oh, we got something that we can give you.
Well, and they don't say,
fix you up.
Yeah, I mean, we got this thing that you could do, but we only really started using it 3 years ago, and it became really popular.
But so far, it seems safe. Even though we haven't been doing it for more than a couple years, and there's no real research on it. Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
The big thing is, though, that I like to tie this one into, and like all the ads and stuff, is like this plays into their ability to control the population. They're controlling the amount of babies that we're going to be able to make in the future by having us on these medications. And that's what people don't see, because
they're also scaring people from having babies, because these things like this and the foods we're eating are causing autisms, bro.
Yeah,
we're seeing a higher rate of autism in kids, and people are like, I don't want to have babies. My babies are going to all end up sick or handicapped when I'm, like when we're trying to have babies, because it's at a high rate right now. So that's another way to control the population, is to scare people out of having kids, bro.
People argue that so much too, and a lot of social media says like when they're so young and they're exposed to all those heavy toxins and things like that, that's where people are saying the autism is coming from, is when they're exposed to heavy toxins at such a young age, it affects their brain as it's growing. So I don't know if that's true or how that is working.
I mean, define heavy toxins then, because vegans and vegetarians have the highest rate of autistic children in the world.
Well, through the foods that they're eating is the toxins.
But that's the parents eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy, huh?
It's going to be interesting. Hopefully they research deeper into foods causing autism, because that's obviously huge. Yeah. If we can,
they won't research it.
They won't. No,
because they already know it's the reason. That's why they invented it.
Yeah,
that's why they created that food.
But it sucks because the population is going down further and further, and the more we talk about mass deportation, the more you have to think, how are we going to fill these people back in, and who is it going to be? So
it's gonna be tough. And I will say, for the record, Wegovy, Ozempic, semaglutide, it's all the same thing. GLP-1, whatever. It's all the same. It doesn't matter what version of it you get. You're at risk if you're taking it. I know a ton of people that are taking this stuff lately, and especially people who know, like, I own a gym, I own a supplement store. I got access to for these people to come and get some shit done. But everyone just wants to take Ozempic, go to the bars, drink, have fun, eat whatever they want, and act like no big deal. I'm losing weight. I'm fine. It's like, okay, but it's just a matter of time. But they're not going to make the connection when something happens to them, or when they get sick and they have to take other medications or get other prescriptions. They're not going to make the connection. Oh, it's the Ozempic. And, 9 out of 10 of those people aren't even going to stay slim.
Yeah.
They haven't learned how to eat correctly still.
Correct.
They've learned how to starve themselves. It's like the old Sanford, body thing that they were doing for so long, where they were telling everyone, just eat a grapefruit a day, you're going to lose weight. It's just like, yeah, starve yourself. That's not a secret.
Yeah.
But you're paying hundreds of dollars a week to have somebody tell you to eat a grapefruit, half a grapefruit in the morning, half a grapefruit at night with a small, sensible meal. Like, bro, you don't have to pay people money to tell you to starve yourself.
No.
But those people all gained their weight back. Those people who all did Sanford Profile, the people who all did, Weight Watchers and all these random things, bro, they've all gained their weight back, and all of them are on Ozempic now.
Yeah.
And when Ozempic doesn't work for them, or, when they gain the weight back, they're going to be waiting for the next magic pill, bro.
Yeah.
So
they all thick, son.
Yep. It's crazy. We live in crazy times. And that was another episode of What in the World?
I like it.
So that's What in the World, guys. Again, thanks for checking us out. Happy New Year's to everybody, man. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the channel, tell your friends about us. Don't tell your friends about us. Talk good, talk bad. Doesn't really matter as long as you're talking about Dion.
Yep.
Peace.
Here's the 2025.